Home to some fascinating cities and towns, a plethora of amazing sights, and some of the country's most characterful hotels, there's little wonder that a third of all first-time visitors to India travel to Rajasthan. It is, quite simply, India's most colourful state, and this tour gives you the best of the major attractions while also showing you some of the region's most beautiful hidden gems. Although maligned by some, for me, Delhi is a fascinating city. A veritable tale of two cities, Delhi combines the busy hustle-bustle of the dramatic Mughal Old Town, with its narrow alleys, its markets and mosques, with the sublime New Town, where the quiet parks and tree-lined avenues are peppered by some of the country's most magnificent architecture. From Delhi, we drive to Agra to visit the essential Taj Mahal, a must-see in anyone's book, and the deserted former capital of Fatehpur Sikri, before heading on to Ranthambore Tiger Reserve, where you'll have the best chance possible of seeing tigers in the wild. And from here, we'll move on to one of the state's key locations, its capital, Jaipur, where you'll have the chance to visit the famous Palace of the Winds, the City Palace, the main market, and just out of town, the staggering Amer Fort. Sitting on the banks of a holy lake, Pushkar is a quiet, quintessentially Indian town, home to a colourful market, wandering sadhus and holy cows, and many temples, including the only temple in the world dedicated to Lord Brahma. It's a lovely place to visit at any time of year, but for 2 weeks every autumn the town bursts into life, hosting the biggest camel fair in the country. The Pushkar Camel Fair is one of the region's great attractions, and if travelling then, shouldn't be missed. From Pushkar, the next stop is the desert town of Jodhpur. Home to what is arguably the state's most impressive fort, you'll also have plenty of time to wander the vegetable market and the famous Blue Quarter before we head on into the countryside. And for most, this will form the highlight of the trip. With a fairly busy first week now behind us, you'll be pleased to know that the second week of this seminal India tour takes us into some of the region's amazing rural regions, where the pace is a good deal slower. Rajasthan's towns and cities are certainly impressive, packed with fabulous architecture and fascinating monuments. But for me, it's in the countryside that the soul of Rajasthan really comes alive. And here we'll stay at some of the region's most impressive palace hotels. As home to the former royals, this is where the romance of the land of kings can be found. Set in the heart of the Rabari tribal region, this is a wonderful place to stay for a couple of days, where you can not only learn about the remote agricultural way of life, but also go on jeep safaris into some of the state's most impressive countryside, where again you'll come across some interesting wildlife. Over the beautiful Aravalli Hills. A narrow gauge branch line service with only third-class carriages and an average speed of 19 kilometers an hour, this is a nostalgic journey that gives you the chance to experience both great views and a taste of real Indian life. And waiting at the end of this journey is the beautiful palace of Raula Jajawa. As a regular feature of many Wild Frontiers trips, Castle Bijapur is a stunning former palace, now heritage hotel, with the main building dating back to the 17th century. It has a number of lovely rooms, a swimming pool, and from here we can ride the famous Marwari horses, or the castle bikes, or just go for walks or jeep safaris through the stunning countryside where we can learn about the rural way of life. And having visited the famous Chittorgarh Fort, one of the largest forts in the country, we end the tour in the beautiful lakeside town of Udaipur. Udaipur was voted the most romantic city in the country, and with its narrow streets, its abundance of characterful Haveli hotels, its great dining options, shopping, and of course its stunning lake, we feel Udaipur is the perfect place to end this fascinating tour.